You're listening to a podcast from the Finnish Football Show. Yes, it's the Finnish Football Show. I'm Mark Wiltshire, and listener, thanks for joining us for another In Conversation episode. And I'm really pleased today to be joined by someone I've spoken to already this year, but not for the Finnish Football Show, but for my other SJK Seinäjoki focused podcast. We're joined today by Salim Yussif. Salim, hi, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
And we spoke earlier this year. Possibly it was one of the first podcasts that you'd been on, and you contacted me after and said you wanted to do it again. And so I thought, well, let's get you on the Finnish Football Show, and let's let all our listeners hear what you have to say as well. So thanks for joining us today.
Always a pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about like your childhood. You're from Ghana originally, but give us a little bit of an idea about your time growing up in Accra.
I was born and raised in Ghana. I grew up in a place called Nima. It's a slum area, full of people. It's noisy, lot of energy. Life there wasn't easy, but that taught me a lot. Later, I moved to Medina FC. That's where I moved to Vision FC in Medina. That's where football really started for me. Growing up was a challenge. Things weren't always smooth. But I learned how to work hard and stay focused. My family on the other side wasn't that rich, but comfortable. They taught me to be humble and never give up. And that really helped me to be who I am today. We were not that rich, but comfortable.
Okay.
I started playing on the street of Nima just for fun. And from that point, I joined local teams there, playing until I moved to Medina.
How big was
to play Vision FC?
Sorry, how big was your family? Like your brothers or sisters or whatever?
I have 3 siblings, including me, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have younger brother and younger sister, and an older brother. So I'm the second born. Yeah.
And what was the family home like? How you were all living together in a small place, or?
Yeah. So we lived in a very small place, single room. We were just all raised in the same place.
And so I suppose going out and playing football in the street was some way to keep yourself busy during the time.
I mean, that's what we do. It's the way of life. We play at every corner we find ourselves. Any space, we just play barefooted.
And so this is where you develop this street football skills.
Yeah. Just playing, dribbling each other.
What about religion? Was religion important to you growing up?
Yes. So I have a very strict Muslim parent. So it's really important for us for the family, and it's always been strict on us to always pray.
Yeah, and so now. So now you're living in Finland with very long summer days. I guess when you have to observe Eid in the summer, that can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, challenge because you don't get to see anybody here, just like as always as usual.
I've got another friend who is from Yemen, and I've learned from him over the years. Because I'm from South London originally, very kind of loose Christian upbringing, I suppose, and for me, it's always interesting to talk to people and kind of learn how strong their religious beliefs are, and also like how they observe it, and how it kind of um, how they compromise that with living, in the coldest part in northern Europe, and how they make that
Mm,
work. So, um, you mentioned Vision FC just now,
yes.
and for the listener that doesn't know, SJK and Vision FC in Ghana, in Accra actually, signed an agreement a few years ago for players from Vision to come through into SJK and into the uh, often into the academy to start with, because the players coming over are young. And Terry Yegbe was kind of the first player to come from Vision, and that was almost like I don't know, a test case, I suppose, and it worked.
Mm,
It worked really well. And then you, Salim, were the first player to join ASICO after that agreement was made. And Terry's really like a trailblazer, because he moved from us to Elfsborg, and now he's just got a move to France to play for Metz. So he's
yep.
showing that there's a pathway there, and I think that's important for the players, and it's also important for ASICO as well.
Yep.
Um, but can you tell us about Vision FC? Because many people, I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know much. What kind of club is it? What is the organization there?
So Vision FC is the club that currently in the Ghana Premier League right now. Um, and that's where I really began to understand football beyond just playing for fun. It's a club that focuses a lot on development, um, and giving young players the structure and the environment to grow. I mean, many people might not know Vision FC, but from my perspective, there's a place where dreams can start, even even if the resources are limited, because you could see the amount of players they produce to SJK over a very short period when they signed the agreement, and it's a good, it's good.
Which other players have come over from Vision
Uh,
to Seinäjoki so far?
Um, uh, like six. We had Esau, Emmanuel Akanse, um, Kwame Otu, me, yeah, and I think some young few players.
Mm.
And we have Shaibo, who is still, yeah.
And what about Vision is also producing players going to other clubs around the world
Yep,
as well, I
yep,
suppose.
yep.
Yes.
They had a player in Hesburg where Terry went to in Sweden, Michael Beidou. Also,
And
yeah,
now he's in England, isn't he? Is he at Plymouth now?
no, yeah, he went to England, but now he's in um Qatar, I think.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some money to be made playing in those
Mm,
Middle East countries. So
sure.
good for him. Good for him. Um, so who was your footballing hero when you were young or younger? You're still young, but even younger.
um, I'll say Ronaldinho because I watched some part when he was retiring. Um, his creativity in football was amazing. His dribbling was amazing. So he was the guy I wanted to be like.
So what position did you play when you were growing up? Where did you like to play?
Number 10, kind of.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been playing number 10 ever since I was young, from Ghana straight to US, kind of like the playmaker kind of.
So how on earth have you found yourself playing at right back for Stevie's SJK team?
I know.
Because last year you were like in 2024 you were in the team. You played some games in the team, but maybe more off the bench and when you played in sort of central midfield, and we could see some promise there. Now this year you've made that right back spot your own, and I think by far our most improved player this year. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. You know, you've had a really, really good season. And it's not just about having the ball and getting forward and being creative, but also defensively as well. Like it's been a really good year for you, 2025. So how did you handle that? You know, that whether it's in up here or what you've had to learn to move from being a number 10 to maybe a number 8 to now number 2 at right back. How have you adapted to that?
All happened through a discussion with me and Stevie. They saw the quality in me, and they think this year, starting from the right back, going into the midfield would really improve me, really improve for me to see and read the game. So I remember in my first training when I was put in the right back to play. I mean, I did very well, and then Stevie was like, "Okay, this is where we were looking for you to play this season." And yeah, I started playing it.
Yeah, so it's kind of given you that Trent Alexander-Arnold
Mm,
position of being a creative player playing at right back and given the license to move forward into the midfield.
yeah. Mm.
It's not a bad kind of role model to have to take that position and really make it your own. Going back a little bit, you were at Vision, and then at 19, did you moved to America to
Mm.
Springfield, Massachusetts? Was it a scholarship that you had there?
Yeah, yeah, I had full scholarship.
How did that
I
happen?
di- so I didn't move from Ghana to Springfield. I went to high school there in New Hampshire.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I got seen in Ghana when I was playing in the national team under 17. We had a tournament in Niger, so we played, and um, I got seen there, and then I was offered to play in the States. So I moved from Ghana to the US at the age of 16,
Wow.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to high school there. It was a prep school, New Hampshire. I had a lot of games there, and I got seen there too. So I was offered another scholarship to go to college
So how does that
in
system
Springfield.
how does that system work? This kind of scholarship and prep school. Where were you living, and how did you have to support yourself, or was it everything kind of covered for you?
Everything is kind of covered for me.
Okay.
I stayed on campus.
Okay.
Yeah, and study and play. Just that.
How did you enjoy the American college lifestyle compared to where you've been living before?
I mean, it's kind of similar to high school in terms of learning, academics, just more work assignment and stuff.
Mm.
And when it comes to football, it's it's more structured, gym work, and more physique, um, quality players, highest level. And basically for me, I wasn't the type who likes to go out and so I was just basically chilling and learning and playing, just staying focused.
So did you transfer back to Vision before moving to Seinäjoki? Is that how that worked?
Um, so not really. Even though I went back to Ghana after like 4 years in the state, I went back to Ghana to see my family, and then of course I started training with Vision FC just in preparation to stay fit to return back to the state. And so that's when basically the whole thing with SJK started. So I met this agent from Mission FC and we've been in contact. Then I returned back to the state to continue my education. And then I got offered from SJK and I had to leave.
And when you came to us, so now we're getting quite recent. You moved here 3 years ago, and you had 1 year in the academy, 1 year between academy and first team, and now this year only in the first team. So it's really nice, steady progression. What does a move to Europe mean for a young African player in general, and then what does it mean for you personally?
I moved to Europe. Means everything to me. As a young player from Africa, it's Africa from Nima. It's a proof that your hard work is being noticed. It opens doors, gives you opportunities to grow and test yourself at the highest level. For me personally, it was a dream come true, but also a start of a new challenge. Proving myself in a new country, new culture, and then like new football style. It's amazing for me.
How easy or difficult did you find it to settle into life in Seinäjoki? Because it's not just a small town compared to Accra, but it's also the weather, it's the language, it's maybe people. How did you find that whole experience?
I would say it was pretty easy for me because it's kind of similar to where I lived in the state.
Okay.
So I lived in New Hampshire. It was very cold, small city, not much people, and literally nothing to do there too. So
Okay.
when so when I came here, I was like, oh, then I'm just kind of used to this life. So I just fit into it.
You acclimatized to Seinäjoki by moving to small town Northern America first. Yeah. What about then adapting to Stevie's style of football, which we like to call Grieveball, and has become also known as chaos football? The fans are often singing about chaos football during the game. It's different to a lot of football that I've watched over the years. So it must be different to the sort of football you played in. How did you adapt to that?
So with Stevie, we played. We were in the same. We were in the academy together. So Stevie's style demands a lot from the players. The energy, the intensity. It wasn't easy because it was different from what I used to. But I know I'm just kind of used to him when in the academy. So it wasn't really hard when we were playing the first team. It was just something that kind of used to.
Yeah, that year in the academy with Stevie, with sort of you, Kasper Parnanen, Marcus Arcelo, probably 2 or 3 others that I'm not remembering now. But you, at the end of that season, like almost 2 years ago, lots of the first team players left. Loads came in from the academy to the first team, and I suppose the fans were a bit nervous. Like, okay, what's going to happen? We've heard of these players, but how are they going to make the step up? And I remember talking to Stevie when the pre-season training started, when you moved up to the first team squad. And he said, actually, the first team players are the ones finding training difficult because the academy ones, they know what I want, and they're kind of leading. They're leading the first team players, and it really worked last year, based on you guys having had that year to practice in the Veikkausliiga or Ukkonen or whatever it was called back then. So that was quite interesting to see, and it just continues. I mean, I asked him this question the other day, and this will be published on a Seinäjoki football supporters podcast episode. Me speaking to Stevie and saying, you know, how some managers, they have their set formation, like Amarin at Man United. He's 3-4-3, and he's being criticised for it a lot. And some have a style of football that they want to play, or more like a tactic that they want to play, whether it's, you know, possession football or playing counter attacking. But chaos football, Grieveball, is kind of something that's separate again from tactics or formation. It's kind of an ethos. How is that? How is it from your perspective playing that style of football? Hard, fun, easy?
No, I think it's something that I'm kind of used to in Ghana, because in African football it's aggressive.
Mm.
And there's, I mean, with Stevie, there's a little bit of everything: possession, attacking, defensively. In Ghana, it's just physical. Put the ball in the box and like just go crazy. So with Stevie, there's like a lot of things there. So defensively, be good, because there's a lot of games that he choose, or he say how you want us to play. It could be aggressive, just bang the ball long and then play. Sometimes he even say Scottish football, put the ball in the box and then just attack. Sometimes he also tell us not to attack, to defend, and whenever he said that, we know what he meant. So we just know what he wants when he tells us to do it.
Is it so something that seems quite complicated from the outside? It's something that's communicated really clearly to the players.
Yep.
We talked just now about sort of adapting to living in Seinäjoki, but like, you've been here 3 years? Do you have, outside of football, do you have many friends here?
Not really.
No, it's interesting because you asked me about this before we started recording, which was interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, have you connected with the Seinäjoki African community in here?
Not really. I mean, I've known some Ghanaian friends though, but we are not really that close. Yeah, I don't know much people here.
Because I'm going to do a little plug now. Seinäjoki African Community is not something I'm involved in really, but I do know a few people that are sort of organising it, and it's a membership association, and they have members from all over Africa that happen to be living here. And you saw my Instagram post last week where we went to this event in Seinäjoki, and there was like an African music workshop, and we all got to jump around banging drums, and there was a bit of group singing and some performance. And what was really nice was to see how many non-Africans came along to check it out. And I also have an association here in Seinäjoki called Wise, and Wise exists to be like a ready-made community when people move here from anywhere in the world. So we kind of, with African community, we have some connection, and we probably share some members as well. And while I was at this event the other week, I got talking to three guys, one Nigerian, one Ghanaian, and one from Kenya. And I asked them, do you like football? Yeah, I love football. I am Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, whatever. And I said, but what about SJK? And two of them said, no, never been. What's it like? And one of them, Boaz, the Kenyan guy, said to me, "Yeah, I've been before, but I haven't been for a long time." And I said, "Why not?" I said, "It's exciting football, and we've got quite a lot of African players in the team." He said, "I used to be friends with Kingsley Afori like a few years ago, and we used to hang out, and but he left, and nobody else asked me to come to the games, so I just stopped coming." So I think if you're interested, Salim, in the African community, I'll connect you across and maybe introduce you to Boaz as well, because he needs someone to
Sure.
remind him to come to
Sure.
the games.
Of course. Of course.
I think there's a big diaspora, not just of African people living here, but from all over the world. And football is something, I've said this on this podcast so many times, but going to watch SJK and meeting the other fans was one way that I integrated into living in Seinäjoki. It's one group of people that I connected with that made me feel welcome. So, and all of these different networks are really important, I think. And I think we need to get you out of your apartment and seeing what's going on in the rest of Seinäjoki as well.
Oh, sure.
All right,
I'll be happy to.
That sounds good. And I'll make sure I send a clip of this to the Seinäjoki African community so that they know I'm fighting their cause as well. So you're 23 now. We know that SJK has this plan to bring players in, develop them, and then eventually one day move them on. You've got a contract that ends this year, but there's a 2-year option on that contract. I think that's right, which is, you picked the right time to start really performing well for the first team. So congratulations on that. But what do you see for the future? Where would you like to, when the time comes, where would you like to move to next? What league or what area?
I mean, I don't have a very specific name in my head right now, but I believe the future is about growth. I want to continue and developing and reaching the highest level possible. I would love to play one of the top Europeans, top league. And anywhere I find myself, I would love to go.
Who did you, I didn't ask you this when we talked about your childhood. Who did you support as a kid?
No.
Okay. It's interesting, because when I spoke to Marcus Arcelor the other day, he said the dream would be Barcelona. So one day it could be you and Marcus lining up for Barcelona, and your friends in Seinäjoki would see you there with great pride, I think. Is there anything that you want to say, or anything you want to talk about while we're here?
I don't think so. I think you've said everything.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. But I don't think there's anything that comes to mind right now.
No, and I think this has been good. This has been a good kind of just getting to know people, chatting about players that have come into Finland to play football. We talk to Finnish players that have moved overseas, and sometimes we're lucky enough to get some of the Finnish international players to come on Finnish Football Show, and that's great. But I just want to, when we get to speak to people at different levels, just hearing what they're hearing their stories. And your life story is quite short because you're a young man. Mine is much longer than yours. But I don't play football, so nobody's so interested in my life story.
How old were you when you came here?
I've been here 17 years, so I was 34 when I moved here, and I had like a 2-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son, and now they're both like up here above me.
Nice.
And for me, this became home. Like I got divorced 10 years ago, and I had no intention of leaving. This was my home. This is where my family, my kids anyway, are. And then I married again, and this is still home. My friends are here. I'm still in touch with some old friends from back in London, but if I move there, everyone's kind of spread out. Whereas here, I got my community around me. I think. All right. I think then, Salim, that's probably the end of this episode. Thanks for coming on and talking with us, sharing your stories. And I'm there behind the goal somewhere every home game and occasionally the away games. So be nice to see you get on the score sheet before the end of the season. You can come over and celebrate with the fans. But score at the home end. That's better for celebrating with the home fans. I wish you all the best at SJK, and then whenever you go forward from there as well.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Listener, thank you for joining us, and until the next episode of the Finnish Football Show, goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Finnish Football Show. You can find us online at finishfootballshow.com. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow the Finnish Football Show page and group on Facebook and also on Instagram. Escape to Suomi on Twitter is now Finnish Football Show on X. And you will find us on Blue Sky at Finnish Football Pod. See the links in the episode description, along with the links to the Finnish Football Show merch stores.